So far, so good for Rotherham United and Wimbledon over in League One as they start the season with a fantastic big fat W. But can they make it 2 wins from 2 as we enter, of course, the second round of matches? We've got those coming up for you, and of course my predictions and yours next. That's right, folks, back once again with another prediction video today. We're looking forward to match number 2 out in the third tier of England. That's right, aka EFL League number 1. And we'll get to that in just 1 second. If you're new, where you been, boys? Smash your subscribe to get you bang up to date with all things League One related, Blackburn Rovers related, World Football related. We're it all here under one rooski. That's right, of course, the likes of Wimbledon, Rotherham kicking ass and taking names. Of course, Sunderland also off to a fantastic start, of course, as they try to get themselves back into the second tier of of English football. And we'll take a look at how their chances can be improved in match number 2 in just a second. Of course, big shout out to the VIPs. They are the Patreons, boys and girls. Thank you for your continued support. And if you are interested, check out those links down below on Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, Patreon as well. And we've got a wide open Discord, free to enter. So make sure you check that out. So anyway, let's get cracking and have a look at what you thought, what I thought last round out in League One. So here we go. Kick it all off with my picks. And of course, we'll have a look at the leaderboard in just a second. The first leaderboard. I'll kick it all off with Sunderland against Wigan. Bit of a zinger this one. 2-1 win in the end for Sunderland. I actually with a 2-2 draw. I did pretty terrible across the whole spectrum of my predictions this week. So nothing to get excited about. Bolton Wanderers 6-goal thriller against MK Bloody Dons. Good response to that for MK Dons losing their manager prior to this, of course, as Russell Martin joined Swansea. On an opening day pointer for Bolton in League One as well. Cambridge against Oxford, of course, we usually associate that with the boat race, but of course they were locking horns over in Cambridge for the first time in a little bit. 1-1 draw in the end, 1-0 for me. Charlton, of course, could only muster a draw against Sheffield Wednesday as well. A lot of draws knocking around in the first 4 games there. 3 of them have been draws. Crewe. Let's stick another one on there. A 1-1 draw against Cheltenham Town. Actually, one of the 1-0 win for Crewe on this one. Doncaster Rovers did lose to AFC Wimbledon with a win for them, of course, to go top of the table, or joint top, or around about there anyway. 2-1 for me going the other way for Doncaster. Gillingham against Lincoln was another draw. Stick that in your pipe and smoke it. 1-0 win for Lincoln on me on that one. Fleetwood Town lost to Portsmouth. 1-0 win. Actually, remember the 2-1 win going in favour of Fleetwood. Ipswich Town and Morecambe, another draw for you. 2-2 draw in the end. Actually, remember the 3-0 win for Ipswich. I thought Morecambe were going to struggle, but of course, not a bad start this week. Less said about that, the better. Rotherham with a 2-0 win, got that one bang on the nose. 2-0 for me, 2-0 for the final score, not too shabby. Burton also kicked off with a win as well. 1-0 win over Shrewsbury. And Wycombe did beat Accrington Stanley 2-1. And as you see, it did absolutely terrible. Less said about that, the better. Of course, the table as it stands, Rotherham, Wimbledon, Sunderland, Wycombe, Burton and Pompey are 1 win from 1. And of course, at the bottom, Plymouth, Shrewsbury and Fleetwood Town going down as it stands. And of course, Doncaster going down as it stands. 4 go down, remember that. Of course, that's me. I got 2, which would have put me in joint bottom alongside Vincent Hong, Shepherd and somebody else there, Leeds 2021. But MCO back with 8, Omar Escavio with 8, James Ball with 8 as well, kicking ass and taking names. Well done to you guys. Winky, F. Mogger, Connor and JJ and RJ Gaming, not too shabby. So now again, I want to stress about this. Remember your name exactly how you put it. Don't add an extra space after your name back. I can see F Mogger screwing me over right here by removing that dot and putting a space bar in there, or making this M a capital. Whatever you do, keep it as it is. Connor, just leave it as it is. Please, please, please. Because otherwise it's just going to be a nightmare to try and keep up to date with you. But anyway, that's the situation as it stands. Of course, we have 8. That's a respective scoreline right there. That's 75% correct. Let's get going then. Of course, take a look at match number 2 for League One. If you want to get involved, this is the link that you got to get involved in. It's completely free to enter. Cut.ly/League One number 2 for, of course, week number 2. So let's get cracking then, shall we? And have a little look at match day number 1. Kick it all off with Accrington Stanley up against Cambridge, taking place over at wherever they play. I can't remember. I don't know what their stadium is. Anyway, it takes place, of course, on the 14th of August, 2021, of course. Played for the 10 times in 2005. 5 wins for Accrington, 2 for Cambridge, 3 draws. The biggest win for Accrington over Cambridge was a 2-0 win. The biggest win the other way was a 3-1 win. Last time I played in Accrington was a 1-0 win in League 2 back in February 2018. Of course, Accrington kicked off with a 2-1 loss to Wycombe. They bounced back with a 2-1 win over Rotherham in the Carabao Cup. As for Cambridge, of course, unbeaten so far. Drew with Oxford, of course, picked up a win, penalty win against Swindon Town in the Carabao Cup on this one. 21-20-ish at Accrington, 12-5-ish draw, 30-5-ish at Cambridge on this. I think Accrington is starting to get the first win of the campaign in the league, and of course put a bit of pinch on Cambridge United's honeymoon period already. Kicking off further, though, we have Burton Albion up against Ipswich Town. Let's get a look at this one then, shall we? Of course, Jimmy Floyd in the dugout up against Paul Cook. That's right. Played for the 9 times in 2007. 8 wins for Ipswich. Nothing for of course, Burton. 1 draw. The biggest win for Ipswich over Burton was a 4-1 win, and last time played in Burton was a 1-0 win for Ipswich. That was back in January 2021. Burton kicked off the campaign with a a 1-0 win over Shrewsbury, yet to get going in the Caterpillar Cup. As for Ipswich, a 2-2 draw with Morecambe, also crashed out in the Caterpillar Cup to Newport County. It's not the start Paul Cook was looking for. Bookies odds 90-10 for Burton, 23-10 is draw, 7-5 is your Ipswich Town. I'm going to go with a draw on this one, and I think Burton will be happier out of those two sides out of that one. Of course, Ipswich have got bigger fish to fry, and they do anticipate to be in that top 2 or 3, chasing for automatics. Next up, of course, Cheltenham Town up against Wycombe Wanderers. Let's get into the thick of things on this one then, shall we? Also taking place this coming Saturday. Played each other 22 times in 2002. 5 wins for Cheltenham, 7 wins for Wycombe, and 10 draws, of course. The biggest win for Cheltenham over Wycombe was a 4-0 win. The biggest win for Wycombe over Cheltenham was a 4-1 win. Last time they played each other at Cheltenham was a 2-0 win in League 2 back in February 2018. Last time that Cheltenham won. You're going to go back, oh my goodness, you're going to go way, way back. All the way to 2013, goodness gracious me, a 2-1 win for Cheltenham over Wycombe in League 2. Heading into this, of course, Cheltenham kicked off with a draw against Crewe, and of course they followed that up with a 2-0 win over Bristol Rovers in the Caterpillar Cup. Wycombe, of course, back-to-back wins for them, beating Accrington in the league, also beating Exeter in the Caterpillar Cup on penalties as well. Look at the bookies odds on this one. What do we have on this? We have Cheltenham 21-10 for the victory, 9-4 is your draw, 11-8 is your Wycombe on this one. I believe they are your favourites. They are the favourites for the bookies, and in my eyes too, with a 2-0 win to take it to the house. Next, of course, we have Morecambe, of course, fantastic start for them, beating at 2, of course, gone through to the Caterpillar Cup as well, up against Shrewsbury Town, that's right, and I'll be looking forward to hopefully Elliot Bennett righting the wrong for us on that one. Steve Cook was your governor up against Steve Robinson in the dugout, which was the 15 times for 2003, 4 wins for Morecambe, 7 wins for Shrewsbury, 4 draws. The biggest win for Morecambe over Shrewsbury was a 3-1 win, the biggest win for Shrewsbury over Morecambe was a 4-1 win. Heading into this, the last time picture in Morecambe was a 4-1 win for Shrewsbury in League 2 in 2015. Of course, Morecambe kicked off with a 2-2 draw against Ipswich, followed up with a 2-1 win over Rovers at Ewood Park. As for Shrewsbury, lost to Burton in the league, bounced back a belly against Lincoln in the Cup to go through to knockout stages. Continued on. Let's have a look at the bookies odds on this one. Morecambe are 50-8 for the victory, 23-10 is draw, 7-5 is just Shrewsbury. I've gone with a 1-0 win though for Morecambe, unfortunately, but of course Morecambe can't keep on going, and that for them is massive to get their to keep their season on track, keep their momentum rolling. Next, of course, Lincoln City up against Fleetwood Town. Let's take a look at this one then, shall we? Of course, Appleton usually in the dugout, maybe watching from his from the comfort of his home as he tries to get better. If we can get this bloody guy going, there we go. Of course, Fleetwood, of course, managed by Simon Grayson. That's our ex-Rovers player back in the day. Played each other 5 times in 2011. 1 win for Lincoln, 2 wins for Fleetwood, 2 draws. Of course, the biggest win for Lincoln over Fleetwood was a 2-0 win. The biggest win for Fleetwood over Lincoln was a 3-1 win. Last time they played each other in Lincoln was a 2-1 win for Fleetwood back in March 2021 in League 1. Of course, Shrewsbury, sorry, not Shrewsbury. Lincoln kicked off with a 1-1 draw against Gillingham. They also lost to Shrewsbury in the Caterpillar Cup to get knocked out as well. As for Fleetwood, of course, back-to-back defeats to them, losing to Portsmouth in the league, and also to Stoke in the Caterpillar Cup. Bookies odds on this one. What do we have on this? We have Lincoln even Stevens 12-5 is your draw, 30-5 is your Fleetwood Town on this. I'm going to go with a 3-1 win for Lincoln City to make it, of course, a cracking start for them. I'm beaten after 2 as well. Kicking off further, we have MK Dons up against, of course, Sunderland. Let's get into the deep end on this one then, shall we? Of course, played each other 13 times since 1996. 4 wins for MK Dons, 8 wins for Sunderland, and 1 draw. Of course, the biggest win for MK Dons was a 3-1 win. The biggest win the other way was a 3-0 win, going in favour of Sunderland, of course. Last time I played each other at MK was a 2-2 draw back in February 2021 in League 1. Of course, Sunderland kicked off with back-to-back wins with beating Wigan and also beating Port Vale in the Caterpillar Cup. As for MK Dons, lost 5-0, of course, to Bournemouth in the Cup, and also a 3-3 draw against Bolton. Of course, conceding little goals, conceded 8 goals in the first 2 games of the season. 13-5 is your MK Dons, 23-10 is draw, 20-20 is your Sunderland on this one. They are red hot favourites, and they are red hot favourites in my eyes. 2-0 win, comfortable win as well. Kicking off forward is Oxford United against Charlton. I think this was a playoff match not too long ago. Played 18 times since 1993. 4 wins to Oxford, 9 wins to Charlton, 5 draws. The biggest win for Oxford over Charlton was a 4-1 win. The biggest win for Charlton over Oxford was a 4-0 win. Of course, last time I played each other, of course, was back in Oxford. It was a 0-0 draw, the Kazam, and of course that was back in March 2021. Of course, heading into this, Oxford did draw with Cambridge, of course, open up the campaign, yet to get going in the Caterpillar Cup. Of course, Charlton did draw with Sheffield Wednesday, lost to Wimbledon in the Caterpillar Cup as well, so yet to score a goal, which is a bit of a problem. They did sell Chucks and Ige, which of course was one of the main outlets, if not the main outlet, for goals last time around. 7-5 is your Oxford, 25 is your 58 is for Charlton. They are in trouble on this one. I'm going to go with a 2-1 win for Oxford to make it not the greatest start, but at least a goal for Charlton on this one. Next, of course, Plymouth Argyle taking on, of course, Gillingham, that's right, over at home Park, home farm, whatever it is. Ryan Lowe in the dugout, Steve Evans in the dugout as well. 14 times they played each other since 2004. 4 wins for Plymouth, 9 wins for Gillingham, and of course 1 draw, the biggest win. 4 Plymouth over Gillingham, 3-1 win. The biggest win the other way was the 5-2 win. Last time they played each other in Plymouth was a 1-0 win for Plymouth back in January 2021. Of course, Plymouth kicked off with a 2-0 loss to Rotherham in the league, bounced back there with a 4-0 win against Peterborough in the Carabao Cup. As for Gillingham, they did draw with Lincoln on the opening day, but they squeezed by Crawley, a 10-9 on penalties to go through to the next round of the Carabao Cup. Of course, looking at the bookies odds on this one, what do we have on this? Plymouth are 31-20 for the win, 25 is draw, 70-10 is your Gillingham on this one. I'm going to go with a 1-0 win for Gillingham on the road. Steve Evans knows what to do in this level. Next up, of course, Pompey up against Crewe. Of course, Portsmouth are not looking pretty good at the moment. Danny Cowley in the dugout up against David Artell. So 16 times played each other since 1997. 7 wins for Crewe, 6 wins for Portsmouth, 3 draws. The biggest win for Portsmouth over Crewe, 4-1 win. The biggest win the other way was a 4-2 win. Last time played each other at Pompey was a 4-1 win back in November 2020. Of course, Portsmouth kicked off with a 1-0 win against Fleetwood. They followed that up with a loss against Millwall. As for Crewe, drew with the Cheltenham on opening day, squeezed past Hartlepool, 1-0 win in the Carabao Cup as well. Bookies odds, we have 4-3 on for Portsmouth, 11-4 is your draw, 7-2 is your Crewe on this. I'm going with a 2-0 win for Pompey at Fratton Park, and of course a fantastic start. That'll be 2 wins for 2 for them in the league. Next, of course, Sheffield Wednesday against Doncaster Rovers, the Darren Moore derby. That's right. Of course, played each other 10 times in 2004. 4 wins for Sheffield Wednesday, 5 wins for Doncaster, 1 draw. The biggest win for Sheffield Wednesday, 4-0 win. The biggest win the other way was a 2-0 win. Of course, last time played each other at Hillsborough was a 1-0 win for Doncaster back in the Championship in September 2013. Of course, Sheffield Wednesday kicked off with they lost to Huddersfield in the Cup, and they followed that with a 0-0 draw against Charlton. As for Doncaster, they beat Worcester in the Cup, but they also kicked off the campaign against Wimbledon with a loss. Bookies are 64 on is your Sheffield Wednesday, 42-5 is your draw, 4-1 is your Doncaster on this. Going to go with a 2-1 win for Sheffield Wednesday. Of course, Darren Moore's boys, they've been very, very busy in the transfer business, bringing in a lot of key players that should hopefully springboard them up the table eventually. Next, of course, Wigan Athletic taking, of course, Rotherham United. That's right, of course, taking place at the DW the 14th of August. 13 times they played each other since 2003. 7 wins for Wigan, 4 wins for Rotherham, and 2 draws. The biggest win from Wigan over Rotherham was a 3-0 win. The biggest win the other way was a 3-1 win. Heading into this, of course, they played each other at the DW last round. It was back in September 2018 in the Championship. It was a 1-0 win for Wigan. Wigan come into this on the back of a 2-1 loss to Sunderland. Also squeezed by Hull, though, in the Carabao Cup on penalties. As for Rotherham, they beat Plymouth in the Cup. In the league. They lost to Accrington in the Cup and, of course, crashed out on that one. 8-5 is your Wigan, 23-10 is your draw, 70-10 is your Rotherham on this one. Tough one. This one could go either way. That's why I've gone with the draw, 1-1 in the end. And then finally, it's Wimbledon up against Rotherham. Wimbledon up against Bolton. Of course, they place down London way. Plough Lane, isn't it? Played each other 4 times in 2016, 1 win for Bolton, nothing Wimbledon, 3 draws. That one and only win was a 2-1 win, of course, and that was way back in 2016. But the last time I played at the Plough Lane was, of course, a 0-0 draw in March 2020 in League One. Of course, Bolton kicked off the campaign with a 3-3 draw against MK Dons. They lost. In fact, they won against Barnsley in the Carabao Cup to go through on penalties as well. As for Wimbledon, back-to-back wins for them, beating Doncaster in the league, beating Charlton in the Carabao Cup also to go through. So 2 wins for 2 for them. Fantastic start as well. Bookies odds, we have 95 for Wimbledon, 23-10 is your draw, 7-5 is your away win for Bolton. Tough one, this one. Going to go with the away win on this one. Paul Bolton to take it to the house. Goodness gracious me. And that completes match number 2. Be sure to get your picks in, of course, for this one as we look forward to match day number 2. Of course, match number 3 not too far away as well. Double match week next week. Make sure you get those in because it could be a statement of intent for whoever wins over the next couple of weeks in the prediction league to see who will be one of the main leaders in the end. That's what I've got. Make sure you give me the video a smash your thumbs up, smash your subscribe. Check out those links down below on Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, as well as Patreon as well. Also, we have a wide open Discord. Check that out. It's free to enter. But until then, I'll see you soon for the next one. Until then, we are done.